Sisters bonafide, sisters bonafide, sisters bonafide. I got my sister and me.
Girl, real quick.
Hey, sister girls, happy Sunday, Sunday fun day. It's Coco here from one half of Sisters Bonafide. I want to thank you guys so much for your support so far. It's been a great ride, so far, and we're just beginning, Zaya and I. So thank you guys so much for your support. As you can see, I take my self-care Sundays very seriously. Got my face mask on, got my headband on, messy bun. I think those are the 3 criteria for a successful Sunday self-care day. Do y'all agree, sister girls? All right, let me know. But yeah, so here I am doing this. But I know, like I said, this is self-care Sundays. Despite that, I had to come and talk to you guys about something that has just been on my mind for the longest time. And I think I've, handled it properly, but at some point you just have to let it out and speak to someone else about it. And I hope that I can speak to my sister girls about it right now. Okay, so let me lay the land for you guys, and let me know in the comments how you feel about this, okay? So as you know, I mentioned in our first video, I live in a studio apartment in New York City. I live alone, and I actually own my own co-op. And as of last year, I think like early last year, I've been having run-ins with my upstairs neighbor, okay? Now, this gentleman, I don't know who he is. I don't know him from a can of paint. He has, since early last year, he's made it his business to let me know that I am disturbing him, okay? And the way that he would do that is by coming downstairs and letting me know this himself. So the first example of that is, one Sunday afternoon, I was cooking. I was doing my meal prep thing. I was, getting everything prepared for the week to come. I had my music on at a decent volume. It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't that loud. It was, it was at a decent time. So he decides that that's unacceptable. And he comes downstairs, rings my doorbell. I didn't open my door because I don't know who you are. I don't know what you have with you that you might try to harm me in any kind of way or try to bust into my apartment. So that's a no. But I did say, ask him who it was. And he said, this is your upstairs neighbor. Can you just quiet down, like turn down the music? And so I stood there in awe. I'm just like, how dare you? Who do you think you are to come downstairs to someone else's apartment and tell them to turn down their music? And it's just like, in my mind, I'm like, how are you so bothered by something that's happening underneath you? There's unless, I'm not saying anything, like nothing's possible, like nothing is impossible. Like I know that there are instances where you have neighbors that are underneath you that you might hear what they're doing if they're doing it loud enough. But honestly, y'all, I play my music from my television. I don't have any amplifiers. I don't have any like loudspeakers. So it's but so loud that my music can get. Okay, so for anyone to, who's upstairs for me to complain about the noise that I'm making, they have to be intentionally listening, right? They have to have their ear to the floor, listening to what I'm doing. Because where they do that at, sis? Like, who does this? Who actually complains about someone doing, making noise underneath them? I've never heard about this in my life, right? So that was the first time he did it. The second time he did it, he came downstairs. It was the day after my birthday. I was, gearing up to go out. And he, once again, rang my doorbell, asking me, can you turn down your music, please? It's a bit loud. This is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. It's not like it's 3 a.m. or anything like that. It's at a decent time in the evening where I could play it, play some music. It's not that big of a deal. But he's become so obsessed with what I'm doing in my apartment that he has to make it known that he hears what I'm doing, and he has to let me know that it's unacceptable to him. Okay. So most recently, we've had encounters, not face to face. But I think at some point, you know, he kind of figured out that like him coming downstairs was not going to stop me from playing my music. So I kept playing it. You're not going to dictate to me what I do in my apartment that I pay the bills in. You don't pay near one bill around here. Okay, you control what you do upstairs, not here. Okay, so you know, I made a point. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing in my apartment, especially, you know, when we were going through quarantine, which we still are, but like in the heavier parts of it in the very beginning, I was home all the time. So naturally, this is my sanctuary. I'm going to want to be as comfortable in my apartment as possible. And music makes me happy and makes me comfortable, so I'm going to play it. I'm not going to put headphones in my ears to play it. Like, I'm going to play it at a nice volume. And if you don't like it, kick rocks with open-toed shoes, bro. I don't care. Like, it's not my problem. So I think he figured out that him coming downstairs was not doing the trick. So whenever I would play music, once it got to him enough, you know, he would, you know, bang something on the floor, like something that sounded like a bowling ball on the floor to let me know that he's annoyed. And I said, I don't care. I don't care. You can bang anything you want to bang. If you ruin my ceiling, you'll be paying for it, but you can bang anything that you want to bang. I'm not turning down my music. It is at a decent hour. Okay, so there have been a lot of run-ins like that with him. And one of the things that stood out to me the most was there was an instance where I was hosting a little girls' night during quarantine, you know, with Zaya, one of our other really close girlfriends. They were here, we were chilling, nothing crazy, no loud parties, no loud yelling and throwing things. Like, this is my sanctuary. I'm not gonna have anything out of the ordinary happening in my place. That's just how I am. So, you know, we were, you know, talking, chilling, 3 a.m., mind you. I had taken out a photo album. We were gonna like go down memory lane. Like, we were just, you know, talking, having a regular conversation. So he decides to come downstairs at 3 a.m., ring my doorbell, and say that we're being inconsiderate, and to ask us to basically tell us to be quiet. So I was like, oh no. Now you're going above and beyond. Now you must have some balls, excuse my French, but you must have some balls to be able to come downstairs to someone's apartment at 3 a.m. to let them know this. I had to send my boyfriend upstairs to ask him what's going on. Like, you cannot feel that the need to do this. You cannot feel comfortable enough coming to a woman's apartment and telling her that you know, to turn down her music or to be quiet. Like, I don't care what you have going on upstairs. So when my boyfriend went upstairs, he denied it. He said that it wasn't him that went to, you know, that came downstairs, although we all know that it was. No one else complains but him, right? Now, and just to let y'all know this, sis, like, if he were quiet upstairs, I would feel a little bad. I would be like, okay, maybe I should quiet down because he doesn't make any noise, right? He's just a man that's just, you know, maybe a little paranoid. But when I tell y'all he is loud, sis, he's so loud. I'm working from home and I hear him. When he comes into the door, he's taking off his boots, dropping them on the floor. I don't know what he has up there. I don't know what his deal is, but he has some type of like loud, you know, trunk or something up there where he's banging on the floor. He's stomping. I hear him having conversations either with someone on the phone or maybe himself. I don't know, cause whatever. But it's a lot that he does. So I'm like, for you to complain, you would have to be quiet yourself in order for you to feel like you can come and tell me to be quiet. So long story short, I don't want to hold y'all. I know it's Sunday, but I just have to get this off my chest. So I decided to go about it the right way, to go through the proper channels and let my board of directors know what was going on. I outlined it in a very clear, you know, lengthy email, so that way they know what's going on. I had even emailed them a letter that this gentleman wrote to me and left by my door, basically complaining that any noise that I could make, I could sneeze too loud and he'd be upset about that. So I had to let them know what was happening. I had sent them multiple emails. As a member myself, a board member myself, I would even let them know during our meetings, like, hey, this is happening. Can we do something about it? And, you know, it seemed to be, yeah, we'll work on it. We'll do what we have to do. And nothing came of it. They didn't do anything about it. So I felt like after that letter that I sent, or that you know, those emails that I sent, the complaints, the verbal complaints that I made, they went unanswered, and he was still allowed to do what he wanted to do. So I said, in order for me to gain back some type of power in this situation, in order for me to feel like I am, you know, not being taken advantage of, I decided to remove myself from the board of directors from my building. And it was solely because, you know, how is it right that I'm participating in a group that should be helping to better the building when I'm making complaints and nothing's being done about them? Okay, so I decided to remove myself, from the board of directors. And when I made this known to the group, you know, I learned something really interesting about this guy. You know, they mentioned that he had some issues, and you know, it was a lot that happened with him. Which is why he's here. Like, his mother paid like cash money for his apartment. It was a lot. So you know, it further made my point to say, like, there's something wrong with him, and I felt like they should have done a lot more to support me in this. But because they didn't, I felt alone in all of this. And I said, you know what, why should I keep putting myself through this? Why should I keep spending my precious time after work to participate in these meetings when I'm not being supported? So, you know, I guess the moral of all this is, you know, number one, if you have crazy neighbors, don't feel like you're alone, because I have them too. So that's number one. But number two, I think the main takeaway from this is, if something doesn't serve you, and if you're giving more of yourself than what you're getting back in return, let it go. Okay, because honestly, I wasn't even getting paid to participate on the board of directors, but I still did it because I wanted to, you know, to make our corporation a better place. That was my purpose of it. But I need to be supported as well. Like, that's the simplest thing that you can do for me. So, and they didn't do that. So all in all, moral of all this, step away from it, sis. If it's not serving you anymore, if you don't feel like you're being supported and you're giving more of yourself than what you're getting back, let it go. Okay? And if you have a crazy neighbor like me upstairs who's fixated on what you're doing downstairs in your apartment, hit me up. Let me know, sis. Say it in the comments, because I feel like I'm alone in all this. Okay? Like, let me know if this is something that's normal. I know it's not, but let me know if this is something that you're going through as well, living in an apartment space, or even an actual next door neighbor who's giving you a hard time. Let me know, because I'm going through it. He's probably listening right now. That's just how crazy he is. I don't know what he's doing. He's nuts. But thank y'all so much, regardless of all that. Thank you so much for listening, taking the time to listen to me rant about what I'm going through in my little space. Like I said, let me know if you have any comments about this. I feel like my mask is leaking. But I gotta go wash this off, y'all. But let me know if you guys have experienced this before. Let me know what y'all think, because I feel like I'm alone in all this. I feel like I've drilled this in Zaya's head for long enough. So thank you for allowing me to come to y'all and let y'all know what I'm going through. All right, but I hope you guys have an excellent week. We're gonna come back to y'all in a little while later on this week with more content and more fun stuff. All right, y'all. Later, sister girls. Bye. It's official. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Ding. Sisters Bonafide.